Sponsorship really transforms lives of children and families. Through sponsorship program in Malawi, we have seen communities getting transformed so much in totality. Just in a nutshell, I can share with you a story of a young girl, Chikondi, who is one of the learners within a Kapen community. Is now able to enjoy, together with the other children in that community, they're now able to enjoy access to improved water. As you can see in that picture, Chikondi is now able to have access to potable water, safe drinking water from within the school premises, which was not the case before. Initially, students from that particular school did not have any access to good water when they were at school. But due to the coming in of sponsorship, World Vision was able to drill a borehole within the school surrounding. And now as girls and boys like Chikondi, they're able to have water right away within reach at their school. That is just an example of the many children that have benefited the same from across the communities where World Vision has drilled boreholes through sponsorship funding. So really sponsorship is transforming lives. Apart from that, World Vision has diversified in terms of vision of water. So in other communities, we were able to provide water by drilling a borehole. But again, when we see that that borehole has a lot of yield, a lot of water comes out per second, then that borehole gets mechanized, and then that water is pumped to a larger community so that many members of the community can benefit. Like in the photo that you are seeing, that is a piped water system, but the source of that water is from a certain borehole within the community, but only that it had a lot of yield, a lot of water coming out per second, and then World Vision mechanized that borehole, and so that in the end water can reach to the greater part of the community. So those girls like Lenia and the friends, they're enjoying tap water within their community, and all that is happening because of sponsored funding being the bedrock of all our operations. But apart from that, through sponsorship funding, World Vision is also able to improve the sanitation and hygiene within the communities. In most of the schools, toilets were dilapidated, or even in other schools before World Vision, there were no toilets where probably the learners relieve themselves when nature calls. But with the coming in of World Vision in the different communities, World Vision has been able to support those communities with improved 7-hole latrines, and that in a way improves the sanitation and hygiene of the learners, because even after visiting those good latrines, they are also able to wash, they're trained to wash hands after visiting the toilet. As you can see in that picture, it's the first one is the before World Vision at that particular school, and then on the right, that is after World Vision had come in and helped that school by constructing that 7-hole latrine with some buckets of water that are put for children to be washing hands after being the latrine. So that on its own, we can say sponsorship is able to transform lives of the children and families, even with regard to sanitation and hygiene. That's another example. That's a boy called Isaac, a story of Isaac from Chabwera Primary School within the Kapen community, and is able to wash hands after visiting the toilet. And you can see that's a very decent structure of a latrine constructed right within the communities in the schools where we have within the community. And that's the tank on the left So learners, that tank is filled with water, and they're able to use the tap to wash hands after visiting the toilet. So all that is happening because of sponsorship. And not only that, as I did indicate earlier on, that there are different sectors that we are working on as an organization. So even in terms of improving access to education, we have many cases or many schools that have been assisted in terms of bringing some great structures just to improve the environment, the learning, teaching and learning environment within the schools. So as you can see in the photo, that is Jesse, one of the girls at one of the primary schools. That structure has been constructed by World Vision using sponsorship funding. But in the past, girls like Jesse, together with her friends, they would probably maybe be learning under a tree, or maybe learning in a very dilapidated, a very shabby structure that would again be even a health hazard to the children. But with the coming in of World Vision and through the sponsorship funding, such nice structures have been constructed in some of the schools where we are working, and in that is Kapeni area. So one of the schools where we have constructed some nice classroom blocks for the learners. And at the same time, at the same school, we have been able to provide desks for the learners to be sitting on, just to improve the learning environment for the learners, for the boys and the girls. If you can see in that picture, you would see that before World Vision came in, the learners were sitting on the floor, and already that is a big challenge. Learners would not be concentrating, sitting on the floor, but at the same time, their clothes would get dirty. But at the same time, the girls, especially those that have reached the puberty stage, they would feel very uncomfortable when they're in their menses. They would feel very uncomfortable to come to school to sit on the floor in that particular status. So they would refrain from coming to school probably for a week or two when they're in their monthly periods because of the conditions that were prevalent in the schools. But now, World Vision is able to provide those desks, and it's quite a big relief to both boys and girls, and even those that are the girls that have reached the puberty stage, they're able to enjoy a good learning environment because of the desks that have been provided. All that is coming in because of sponsorship. So sponsorship really is transforming lives of children and families in our community. But not only that, lives are also transformed even in terms of increasing their capacity to produce enough food using the modern farming techniques that have been promoted through our extension services that we provide as an organization. So in the picture, you see an old couple. Initially, before the coming in of World Vision, those guys are using the traditional farming methods. As such, they could not produce enough per, let's say, an acre or 1 hectare. They would not produce enough because they were using traditional farming methods. But with the coming in of World Vision, they're able to acquire some new skills and techniques in modern farming technologies, and that helps them to produce enough from, let's say, 1 acre or 1 hectare of land, and be able to feed their families, and at the same time be able to sell the surplus. And that on is able to boost the even economic status because they're able to produce enough from agricultural production. So all that is coming in because of sponsorship. And at the same time, within the sponsorship programming, there are times where you embark on some initiatives that are aimed at bringing the economic empowerment at household level. So at times, there are programs such as GOAT Pass On project, still under sponsorship programming. So like each household would be given one male goat and one she goat. And then after that, the she goat produces the first kid. If that kid is a female, it is transferred to another family just to see to it that the household is able to own a goat. So they keep on increasing. So like that family, they started with the 2 goats, and now the time I was visiting them at some point in time, they had over 6, 7 goats, but it all started from that goat person initiative under sponsorship programming. So now when they have the goats, in case they want to have some money, they can just sell 1 goat and use the money to buy maybe uniform, school supplies for the children. As you can see, Enere Santa Mandani, those are the children to that couple that you saw in the other picture. So they're able to meet their household needs just by probably selling a goat, and at the same time use the manure from the goats to their farm. So all that is happening because of sponsorship. So sponsorship is very powerful in transforming lives, and the Kapeni area has been able to, within these 3-4 years of operation, already we're seeing a lot of transformation going on, as you can see just by those few stories that I've shared. Thank you so much, Justin and Pastor Tim.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, you touched upon a little bit about you know, like Chikondi and Isaac and Jesse. Is there a specific child that you would like to share about that has experienced positive changes through the sponsorship program? I think we spoke about this person last time about like reconciliation with a friend or something.
Yes. Yeah. I would share a story. Probably one of the best would be for a girl like Jessie. Jessie, as you saw from the picture, she's above 12 and she's in her puberty. But then the fact that in the past the learning environment was not conducive to her. Jessie, as a girl, was not really attracted to be going to school because the learning environment was not as attractive, especially when she is in her menses. But now she has found that school is very attractive, the environment has been improved, and that has brought a lot of excitement to such a girl like Jessie. So she's excited to be in school this time around, and she feels that her dream is going to come true. She dreams of becoming a nurse, and I'm sure with that good learning environment, someday her dream is going to come true. And that is happening because the teaching and learning environment has been improved through sponsorship funding in that particular community.